you can only hope to contain them. Dare I say they're anything but en fuego. They rarely touch nothing but the bottom of the net. These blowfish stink.
And a shocking final threesome. The Blowfish and Freddie Couples.
Great shot. Makes you want to hold your hat.
Sometimes I wonder if it will ever end. You get so mad at me when I go out with my friends. Sometimes you're crazy, then you wonder why. I'm such a baby, yeah, the dolphins make me cry. But there's nothing I can do. I only wanna be with you. You can call me a fool. I only wanna be with you. Yeah, I'm tangled up in blue. I only wanna be with you. I only wanna be with you. I only wanna be with you.
Dan Marino passing to Hoodie and the Blowfish.
It's a fumble. They do not go all the way.
Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Welcome to the ACC show. We'll be with you in just a second. You guys know the deal. Hit the thumbs up because YouTube really cares. I don't. I think C-Dog said he did. I don't know. I can't control what C-Dog cares about or not. But anyway, we'll be with you in just a second. Got a lot to talk about tonight. Big week last week for the ACC and a big week coming up.
Why you punish me? Like a wave crashing into the shore, they wash away my dreams. Time, why you walk away? Like a fever with somewhere to go. You left me crying. Your tears about tomorrow and all the pain and sorrow running through was just another day, and I don't believe it now. I don't understand. Children killing in the street, dying for the color of red. Is a red and blue. Wash them in the ocean with the free. Maybe the mothers won't cry tonight. You teach me about tomorrow. All the pain and sorrow running through me. The mouth just another day. And I don't believe in time. Walking, you ain't no friend of mine. I don't know where I'm going. Think I'm out of my mind. Thinking about time. And if I got them all, yeah, just leave me down the street. Why you punish me?
Yo, 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 yo. What is up, everybody? Here's your boy, Pigskin Pete. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the ACC show with me and your boy, Sea Dog, or Hootie and the Blowfish, looks like is hosting the show with me today. That's amazing. Why you look like that?
You can call me awful.
Anyway, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. I'm going to try to fix Sea Dog's camera. He moved it on me. I don't know what he's doing. What are you doing?
I didn't do anything.
Got to see your whole face.
It's true. You gotta.
The people want to see your face.
They do.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I can't blame them.
Yeah.
Can't blame them.
Anyway,
do you have your StreamYard in like windowed mode?
No. It's all good. It's all good. There he is. Really got a pretty face. Welcome to the show, everybody. We got a great show planned for you tonight. We got the Week 2 recap. Big week for the ACC. Just yet another week of dominance happened where ACC teams knock off highly ranked SEC teams. Clearly, the ACC just a better conference this year, and that's going to continue this week. You know, the ACC, I believe, has 8 games this week out of conference. 8 more games before we get into full-time conference play. We'll go over all of those. We'll talk about some of the highlights from last week. Anything that comes to mind to you in particular that you want to brag about, Sea-Dog, or?
Brag about?
Yeah.
No. We played South Carolina State over the weekend, so I mean, I guess I could brag that we're going to be 2-2 in the state of South Carolina this year, but
Yeah, big game for you this weekend. You're going to the game, aren't you?
no, I'm not.
I thought you were.
Well, I never did commit to going.
So you lied.
No, I said from the beginning I may or may not go.
I thought a whole group. I thought you were going. Reg Talk was going, and somebody else too.
Somebody else. Slim was talking about
Slim
having us over, but no, I decided not to go because things are just too crazy.
Okay.
In my life is a complete mess right now. So.
Well, you want to tell us about it, or?
Well, I mean,
you all right?
No, I'm all right.
We're here for you, buddy.
No, I'm all right. It's just living in a camper and trying to get everything settled and moved, and everything it's been rough. So struggling to stay afloat.
Well, people are bragging on your new graphic. So I gave the graphics guy a slight raise. So now he kicked his butt into gear. You know.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. So graphics guy is 1-0.
It's just you got to pay your people well. Then they'll do what they're supposed to do.
That's right.
So that's a lesson to all of you business owners out there.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. Anyway, yeah. Let's see who's in the chat here. We got so much to talk about tonight. You know how it goes.
Yeah, we do. We sure do.
So let's see who's in here. Shout out to the people. Goose Sports is in the house. 3rd and Nate. Matt Dummett, Ultra Maga Dog, says SEC, SEC, SEC. The Delusional Tar Heel, Nature Boy. Glad to see Wake Forest made a graphic.
Casket!
Wahoo Brad. Yeah, I think we finally had a Wake Forest guy come in. He took one look at the screen. Every team except for his team was on the graphic, and we haven't seen him since. The guy said, "Fuck the ACC show. I'm out of here." These guys don't even recognize the team. Well, all the teams in the ACC. Damn.
True.
Stingray, what's up, buddy? Did I say Wahoo Brad already? I don't know. The Uncle Lou. Only 4 ACC teams are ranked. Well, that's what happens when the SEC teams are so overranked to start the season that even after they lose to an ACC team, they don't fall enough to fall out of the rankings.
True.
So,
True.
It's not the playoff poll; it's the AP poll. So they go off of what they did last week. Most of them.
True.
Most of them don't. Half of the AP doesn't even watch the football games before they vote on them. Timmy Blackwell, Slim Shady Canes. Can't wait to hear from him. Hopefully we hear from him.
Yeah.
Big win for the Hurricanes over the weekend. Harry Leg, Mrs. Peete. Mrs. Peete is going to the backyard brawl this weekend.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Why?
She's got a friend that she grew up with that lives in Morgantown, went to West Virginia.
Oh, cool.
So they invited her up there, and she's going to go.
That sounds like fun.
She invited me, but, I mean, I've got to entertain all of you. So, and I have to watch the kids. That might be more important. Sir UGAAA. Lester, a.k.a. Lezer. Goose Sports. Mr. Duggar Fishing. Everybody loves Mr. Duggar. Mr. Duggar loves everybody. Billy Cole says, I like the haircut, Sea-Dog. Man, where you been? How long has it been since you cut that? I don't even know what you call that hair that you had.
I cut it back in March? June? I think I cut it in June.
Well, there's a big difference between March and June. Which one was it?
I think it was June.
Oh.
Like early June.
So it's been like 3 months.
Yeah. I need to put a hat on because it looks stupid.
Eric Steele, Zona Tucson Christian. Kevin Jr. Ram Dog. Ram Dog's mad about the ACC whooping up on these SEC teams. Man, they're really mad about
too,
it.
If I'm in my conference sucked as bad as the SEC
They're
does.
really mad about it.
I'd be mad too.
Don't be mad at us. Be mad at the SEC teams that lost.
Yeah.
Dylan Mullins, D. Taylor, CJ, Ballin' with AC. What's up, Ballin' with AC? Yeah, I'm on little person duty. That's right. All right. Did you see Matthew McConaughey at that Texas game? Well, he was, at the Alabama game. I guess technically it was in Alabama, but
I don't know.
D4 was at the game, right?
Yeah.
So D4 sent me a picture. They must have been right on the field because he said that he was about 10 feet from Matthew McConaughey. He sent me a picture of Matthew McConaughey dancing around. Yeah, he must have had pretty good tickets. Well, that must have been fun. If you're a Texas fan, that must have been fun to be in that stadium.
Oh, I bet. That was a crazy game, and it wasn't even really that close. I mean,
no.
Texas was clearly the better team.
Yeah. Alabama did not look good at all.
No.
All right, let's bring on the panel here. We got welcome to the show, gentlemen. How you doing?
Not all at once.
Yeah, not all at once.
Say, not everybody jump all at the same time.
Oh man, just enjoying.
I get why Luke's quiet. He was happy for a week and then found out his team is still the same team.
Yeah, rest in peace, North Carolina's hopes of being good this year. Born week 1, died week 2.
I got to see his meltdown. Well, not see. Well, I was streaming, but he was in the chat. I got to witness, rather, his meltdown in real time. It was pretty epic.
That is awesome. I need to go back and watch that because, or read it, I suppose.
I mean, if it's any consolation, it just proves that South Carolina is that bad.
Yeah, that's what I said last night on the Lunch Money show. Yeah.
It does.
I don't know. Luke, was that I mean, did they just play bad, or is that what you can expect to see for the remainder of the season from that defense?
Well, I can tell you that.
I mean, they didn't play well, but it wasn't terrible. When you go back and watch it with a level head, it's not as terrible as watching it live.
That's always the case, but it looked pretty bad.
I mean, they had a lot of long sustained drives, but a lot of it was converting on third downs. And a lot of that's fixable with our alignment and all that stuff. We have a bunch of young players.
Yeah, but Luke, they were supposed to be so much worse. 90% of their team is gone.
Luke, are you at a pep rally or something?
The band is practicing right next to my house.
Oh, I can tell.
Yeah.
I can hear I don't know what the North Carolina fight song is, but is that what that is?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
All right. Slim.
How about them Miami football Hurricanes?
Man, it's almost like some people picked Miami to beat them.
You know, and it's almost as if somebody said all offseason we were going to drop a 40 burger on them.
Oh, wow.
Could it be?
You know, I think you guys should stop bragging about wins over SEC teams. I mean, come to me when you play some real competition, okay?
Yeah, like that.
Come to me when you play a real team like App State, not Texas.
Yeah.
At least App State won 6 games last year.
Sea-Dog, you ain't got a whole lot of room to talk either. South Carolina State ran up and down the field on y'all.
Oh, whatever.
Are you going to do like that?
Anyway,
Is he going to
watching?
Are you going to do like Jackpot did and say South Carolina State's a really good team?
No, they're terrible.
Yeah, Jackpot was trying to convince everybody how good Furman was.
No, I was pissed off about the defense.
I tell you what a humanitarian Mario Cristobal is. We spotted Texas A&M 21 points just to keep people interested in the game.
Damn. I don't know why anybody's surprised about that. I mean, I've been saying it all offseason. This is what Texas A&M does every year, but yet everybody buys into it every single year.
I mean, I'll give them the same credit I give Miami. I mean, by the eye test, they're much improved over last year. I mean, they couldn't score half as many points against anybody last year.
Yeah. Well, Jimbo Fisher's doing Jimbo Fisher things. You're already starting to see, how early can they possibly fire him, and save the most money. That's when you know it's over. I think if they fired him right now or before the end of this season at $77 million is the last I saw. And then I saw a chart, they're like next year it'll be $62 million, and a year after. Even if they wait till 2026 or something, it's still going to be like $25 million he gets or something like that. I mean,
that's ridiculous.
Well, that's what happens when you do that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason people think A&M is because of the talent. Somebody's got an echo.
I'm hearing it too.
Yeah, this happens every week.
I was muted, so.
Huh?
No, it's not you, True Seminole, because I was watching the things a minute ago, and yours
I was muted, so that definitely wasn't me.
It leaves it down to Sea-Dog or Pete, and I don't think Pete's repeating on himself. I bet you Sea-Dog's cat hit something.
Well, I'll figure it out in a minute.
Welcome to the ACC show with PigskinPeete and a cat.
And I do have to say, before we say Carolina has the same defense as last year they gave up 40 and a quarter to App State. We didn't even give up 40 in the game this year.
No, it wasn't a shootout like last year. But what is different from last year?
We have a pass rush.
I don't think it's a complete runaway that Drake May's the best quarterback in the ACC anymore.
Stop it.
I would have to agree with Slim on that.
Someone's already said that.
I would have to agree with Slim on that.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that are better than Drake May, including Haynes King.
Listen, True Seminole, T2I's already cleared this up. Van Dyke's numbers are better than Jordan Travis, so give it up.
Okay.
They are.
No, I'm not scared. I mean, playing
QBR's
against weak
better,
competition
yards
is
is
fine.
better.
Texas A&M ain't a good team.
The only place they're tied is in touchdowns. That's the only place they're tied.
Some good quarterback play in the ACC this year.
Yeah, I don't really think you can determine who the best quarterback is after 2 games. You can't, the same way that you can't really determine who the best team is yet.
We'll
but
find out who the better quarterback is in a few weeks.
I'm not saying anybody's the best quarterback. I'm simply saying that it's not undisputedly Drake May.
He hasn't played the best yet, but I still think 2 games isn't enough to unseat him.
Well, he was never officially seeded. That's kind of the point. There's been a debate the entire offseason about who's going to be the best. So we just don't know yet. I said May, but I might change my mind as the weeks go on. I think it's pretty close right now between Travis and Van Dyke. Drake may be in 3rd right now.
when North Carolina sees a real defense, then we'll all see the truth of Drake May.
Okay, bud.
All right.
When Jordan Travis gets picked in the 5th round of the draft, they go second overall. We'll see who's your quarterback.
Man, you'll be sitting back watching Jordan Travis hold the Heisman, too.
Doubt it.
Sorry, I'm still loading and stuff into OBS because my graphics guy was a little late getting the last one in.
Well, he had a huge workload.
That's why the graphics guy only got a partial raise.
He had a huge workload this week, so cut him some slack. He gave us a nice new pimped out graphic.
Hey, about the new graphics, where's the room for the new Atlantic teams? The California, which is really well known as an Atlantic team, huh?
Yeah, where we put SMU on this graphic?
Yeah, he's got 11 months until he has to turn that in. So
that's
and something tells me it'll still be late.
Kentucky Fried says, "Where's Riley Leonard?" That's a good question. The Sea-Dog is right. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in the ACC. You can say whatever you want to about the conference. They are loaded at quarterback.
When Drake May
Riley Leonard passing against Clemson, by the way, sneaky, not good stats. He barely had a 50% completion percentage and threw for like 150 yards.
No, but passing isn't the only stat that a quarterback has.
Well,
Let me ask you this. Outside of Clemson being completely boneheaded plays for the entire game, if Riley Leonard wasn't the quarterback for Duke, would they have beat Clemson?
I mean, it depends on who you put there, but if you're talking about just put their backup in, then no.
Well, who else would you put in there? The coach? I mean, of course.
If you put Drake May on Duke, they're beating Clemson.
I'm talking about, sir, who's on the football team? I'm not talking about any other quarterback in the country.
So you're talking about just put their backup in?
Yeah.
Then no.
Right. There you go. I know who's not on the list. Phil Jerkovich.
Keep my shorts, dude.
God dang.
Haynes King is better than Drake May.
Has anyone else been seeing like the Pitt
Haynes King is playing
Phil Jerk Me Off shirts?
No.
I would love to pile on Luke right now, but I can't.
Haynes King's played better.
Haynes King played South Carolina State.
He's incredible. He played good against Louisville too.
Okay.
We didn't lose that game because of him.
And Drake May's played against South Carolina and App State, and you're still on his.
Yeah, that's right.
Haynes King's look better.
Drake May has also been good before.
Okay. Well, Haynes King's
Drake May couldn't find a way to beat him.
I mean, all Texas A&M does is lose talent.
Neither could Jordan Travis.
I just find it funny. I find it funny how all these other teams get all these players from Texas A&M and they're stoked because they're all these former highly ranked teams. But when we freaking do it, he sucks. Well, clearly he doesn't suck anymore. He's freaking good. Okay, and I want to point out the upgrade too at quarterback. Did y'all watch Jeff Sims this past weekend?
Oh, don't dunk on Jeff Sims now.
Yeah, I want to hear him dunk on him. Go ahead. Yeah, please dunk on him.
I do too. Like I was wishing him well. You know, I didn't want him to go suck.
He might be the worst starting quarterback in the country, dude.
I think I know where the disconnect is. Good to Georgia Tech fans is at best mediocre to a normal person.
Dude, come on. That's a good troll and all, but
I think that's where the disconnect.
No, that's a funny troll and all, but he has regressed. He was not nearly that bad when he played for us. He turned it over at least twice a game. But he had points to show for it. I guess. I'm not
just talking about that. I'm also talking about your assessment of Haynes King.
Whatever, dude. Haynes King is amazing. You'll see.
You're proving my point.
If you don't know now, you're gonna know.
All I know is 2 weeks into the season, I feel pretty damn good about my bet, sir.
Yeah, me too.
And you don't know ball.
That makes two of us.
And you don't know ball.
Okay.
All right, let's start these games because we got to do week 2 and week 3.
Week 3 has an insane amount of games.
Wish us luck.
All right.
All I want to do with you.
We can really skip right over this first one.
This was a thriller on a Thursday night.
Not really.
Yeah, I don't expect a starter to.
Did anybody watch this Thursday night instead of the first NFL game?
I watched a little bit of it Friday morning. It was dominating.
I'm not gonna lie. I tuned into the boring, sterile-ass NFL to watch Jahmyr Gibbs that night.
Now the only interesting, I guess you could say, interesting thing. Me and T2I got in a bit of a disagreement about this. According to him, since Ja'Cory Brown is redshirting this year, they should not burn one of his games by letting him play in this game. My opinion is everybody with a Hurricanes jersey on should play in this game. Maybe even some people out of the stands with a jersey on.
What, the Bethune-Cookman game?
Yes.
I mean, you can't guarantee that you're going to get him in any other game, so why not?
According to him, his argument was, well, we've only got 3 quarterbacks on the roster. What if somebody gets hurt?
Then you don't redshirt him.
My thoughts exactly.
I mean, if a quarterback is good, the redshirt year is not going to matter.
Well, Ja'Cory Brown has got, and we saw it last year, he needs to make some improvements.
Did you skip to week 3 all of a sudden, or
he'll get drafted?
Yeah, we skipped to week 3. Man.
We're doing week 2 right now?
What are y'all talking about?
They're talking about Miami and Bethune-Cookman. That's
Get the hell out of here. We're talking about Murray State and Louisville.
Yeah.
Louisville dominated them. Congrats.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to then this next game, which took 6 hours.
Yeah, there was a lot of long games this weekend, but Wake Forest with a convincing win over Vanderbilt. Actually, the game was somewhat contested for a while, but Wake Forest came out on top, like everybody knew that they would. The
final score was closer than the actual game.
Yeah, right. That's what I meant. Just another fat L for the SEC versus the ACC. I don't even know if they can make up ground enough until bowl season to have a winning record.
You got Ole Miss. Georgia Tech has to play Ole Miss this week.
That'll put them further in the hole.
I hope you're right.
Shit, me too.
Anyway, we all knew Wake Forest was going to win that. Boston College finally gets a win. A much-needed win.
They
barely.
Holy Cross.
It might be their only win of the
Did
year.
you watch this game? I watched this shit.
You know what? Boston College can hang their hat on this. They got a W against a team that Georgia has never gotten a win against. So much
ACC dominance at it again.
I think we can well, actually, Boston College and Virginia play this year. I was going to say we can cross off winning any ACC games. But do you think Boston College beats one of Virginia, Army, or UConn?
No, I don't. I mean, anything's possible, but if I had to say right now,
win that Virginia or Boston College, I have no idea who would win that.
I mean, that Virginia-Boston College game is going to determine who's the worst team in the ACC.
yeah, it is.
Based on what I've seen, I would pick Virginia to win that.
I don't know. I've seen some pretty pitiful stuff from Holy Cross. You lost to Holy Cross.
They almost
freshman
lost to Holy
quarterback for
Cross.
Virginia really
Okay,
impressed me, though.
almost.
Oh yeah, they're right.
They
almost
got
lost to
on
Holy
the
Cross.
board here. They're 1-1.
Yeah, they're either. We had them, I think, winning 3 games with our preseason picks. I think 2 games is probably more likely for the Eagles this year. Anyway, big win over Holy Cross.
I actually watched this game because it was close.
I watched part of it because of all the delays.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this game got delayed too.
I watched the beginning and then was like
towards the end
bored.
I mean, yeah, it was bad.
lie.
You could tell that that Holy Cross it looked like they were playing a middle school team. But I mean,
Are you saying Boston College is the middle school team or Holy Cross is the middle school team?
Well, Holy Cross looked like the middle school team. Boston College played at the level of a middle school team. But I was rooting for them guys. I don't know. But Boston College gets on the board. So
all right, so Virginia Tech falls to Purdue.
God almighty.
I'm glad we're getting all the bottom feeders of the ACC out of the way first, so we can talk about some real teams here in a minute.
Yeah.
This is so Virginia Tech finally, rebounds week 1 and upsets Old Dominion at home. Then they have a big game against Purdue at home again. This time, not so lucky.
They were competitive though.
Yeah, but Purdue's bad.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
All right.
Although
Nobody has anything to say about that.
There's nothing I can say to like defend it.
There's nothing to say to that, but to the Big Ten's credit, it looks like they might finally snap their losing streak to MAC teams.
Man.
I don't think a Big Ten team has lost to a MAC team yet this year, which that streak has been going hard since 2006.
Do they play MAC teams every year?
All I know, the stat is a Big Ten team has lost to a MAC team every year since 2006 through 2022.
Yeah, Eastern Michigan was on a 3-game win streak against the Big Ten before they lost to Minnesota this week.
Must have been before 2006.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, Wahoo Brad's right. Elliott, he did inherit a halfway decent situation. Talk about them in a second. Notre Dame, I'm still hearing an echo. I don't know what's going on. It's annoying now.
I don't know, I'm blaming the graphics guy.
Just let me know if it's me. I know it was me like 2 shows ago, but I thought I got everything fixed. But
anyway, Notre Dame goes on the road and takes care of business against NC State the way that we all knew that they would. Dave Dorn.
Notre Dame being in Raleigh is some kind of curse because last time they came there was a hurricane, and this time they came there's a bunch of rain delays.
Yeah. Well, that was the case for the entire East
Armstrong
Coast.
has not been impressive.
NC State kept it a game for a little bit there.
Yeah, that defense is still legit, but that offense still has some issues.
That offense,
I mean, their
whole is an
3
issue.
best receivers are 2 freshmen and an 8th-year senior transfer from Rice.
This is par for the course for NC State. They have.
I'm rethinking Miami's lost NC State on the road. Seriously.
Yeah.
They go in 3-year cycles. So about every 3rd year, Dave Dorn puts together a decent squad that can win 9 games. Sort of like South Carolina, right? They might be even on a longer cycle. But
when did South Carolina win 9 games?
Last year.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. And before that was like 3 years before that.
9 games.
Huh? Anyway, Notre Dame's a legit team, though. I don't, I love to make fun of NC State, but Notre Dame is a legit top 5 team, in my opinion, after 2 weeks. Now, that could change. They got a tough schedule this year. They got to play Ohio State. What is that? Is that next week? Yeah, next week. They come to Clemson later in the year. They got to play Southern Cal. So they got a rough road ahead of them.
They got to play Duke. Don't forget Duke.
Yeah,
Duke.
I still have my questions about whether or not they're a legitimate top 5 team. That doesn't necessarily have anything to do with this year's team.
Well,
but I mean, over the last 20 years, anytime Notre Dame looks good and they actually play a legitimate top 5 team, they get their ass handed to them.
All right. Well, after 2 weeks, name 5 teams better than Notre Dame, or who have looked better.
Well, I mean, that's okay. I mean, point taken, but still, stick
Florida
them in the playoffs, and they'll probably get obliterated by whoever they play.
All Virginia loses to James Madison. James Madison was a favorite in this game. I believe I picked James Madison to win that. I did.
They also choked a lead. They had a decent lead, like 10 points or so.
Yeah, they were competitive in this at least.
Yeah. Virginia's not quite as lifeless as I had pictured them. They're not like Boston College level bad, I don't think.
Yeah, Virginia's offense kind of impressed me this week. That freshman quarterback they have could be legit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, at least they showed some signs of life. But look, it is what it is. James Madison is a good lower classification team, but they really shouldn't have any business competing with a Power 5 team still. But
They shouldn't.
I mean, I guess if you're a Virginia fan, the only thing you could take away from this is at least the team looks like it hasn't given up. They're still competing. And that doesn't surprise me. I think Tony Elliott will, even if they lose a lot of games, which they will, the team won't give up. That's really the best thing I can say about them. I don't know what else to say, but...
5-star hearts.
Yeah, right. All right, Sea-Dog, time to shine, buddy. First win of the year
Let's go.
for the Jackets.
Let's go.
Big win over South Carolina State.
Yeah.
Beat South Carolina State by less than Jackson State did.
Little bit of a get right game for us. Obviously, our game was delayed too, and it took freaking forever to get started, which was annoying. But it was like a 2.5 hour delay. But we came out. I mean, could have been better. Our defense I wasn't happy with. Our offense is good though. Our offense is good. So I guess we'll might get into some shootouts this year. I don't know. But handle business against them and do what we had to do.
Yeah, Slim. Slim shaking his head when you said our offense is good.
It is.
Get into some shootouts.
I mean, it is what it is. We sort of did with Louisville.
Okay, you might get in a shootout with North Carolina's defense. Okay, I'll give you that.
No, they're not. They're not going to be able to score on us. That game's going to be a bloodbath, dude.
Sea-Dog.
I'm so excited to see what Sea-Dog's talking point is when he doesn't have that anymore.
Did he say that game's going to be a bloodbath?
That game is going to be a bloodbath.
You might be right. How much is North Carolina going to beat you by?
The other way, though.
Yeah. Give me a break, dude.
Haynes King's going to have a giant 25.
We are going to absolutely destroy. What is your talking point going to be with when Haynes King, the quarterback you've been dogging all off season?
I'm going to say, we beat another team that didn't.
And now he's playing well. You're in denial about it too. I wonder what you're going to say as you're stuffing your face with crow. That's what I'm really curious about. You know how much mercy I'm going to have on you, Luke? You know how much mercy I'm going to have?
0.0.
0.0, Luke.
I'm going to do the Kanye mic drop. I guess we'll never know.
I hope you're ready. Luke. It sounds like you're not.
I'm trying to give Georgia Tech credit. I really am. Because that team's got more fight in it than you ever saw under Jeff Collins. I will absolutely give them that credit. But that defense is bad.
Yeah, I didn't expect us to take such a step back from last year.
They gave up more points to South Carolina State than we did to South Carolina.
That's not saying much. South Carolina's offense is awful.
They're better than South Carolina State.
Okay, and I'll even give them credit that their offense looks better than it did last year too.
Yeah.
But
which is not saying much because our offense last year was...
What are you gonna do against Duke's defense?
Well, we're not playing against Duke, but we could score on Duke's defense. Don't get it twisted. Man, we can score on a good defense. We can score. I have confidence we can put up 24 points on a good defense. But if that team has,
What are they averaging right now?
We're going to struggle.
Remind me, what is Georgia Tech offense averaging against the two teams they played so far?
I guess I could pull up the stats. But
you don't know the scores of the games?
The scores?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we scored 34 against Louisville and 48 against South Carolina
All right,
State.
so they're averaging about 40 points then.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
We'll see against Ole Miss, although Ole Miss's defense is not.
No, they're not very good.
Crazy either. So, and I'd reckon that Louisville's offense is better than Ole Miss too. So,
I believe I picked.
I don't know about that.
I believe I went with the over last night on the Lunch Money Show between Georgia Tech and Ole Miss. I think there's gonna be a lot of points scored there.
Yeah, probably.
It was low too. It was like 54 or something.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. The over in the Louisville game was sub 40, sub 50. It was like 48 or something. So, who knows? I mean, we destroyed that 34-39. So, I would definitely take the over in that game too. It'll be a good game. Prime time too, but we'll get to that.
All right. Rebounding off of the disappointing Duke loss, Clemson hosts Charleston Southern Buccaneers and come out looking like they did against Duke, maybe even worse, right out of the gate. But somehow righted the ship and looked like an actual football team in the second half. Held Charleston Southern scoreless in the second half and put up a shit ton of points. I think they scored on every single drive. So I don't know what to think about this. I know everyone's like trying to pull the positive out of this and be like, hey, look, maybe they finally found their footing. I'm like, yeah, well, I've seen 8 quarters of football. 6 of them were pretty bad. So I need to see more. And of course, they got FAU this week. We'll see what they can do there. Got Florida State next week. So
now I only watched about a 20-minute highlight of the game. That pick six was bad.
it's one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen in my life.
Like I wouldn't, because when I heard you say that, I hadn't seen it. Now I've seen it. That was bad.
It was bad.
I don't know what he was thinking.
Well, he was thinking, I'm not going to take a sack, but just throwing a jump ball up in the air, that's not the solution. Somebody said he might have been trying to throw it out of bounds and just fell backwards or something. It doesn't really matter.
That's a possibility.
Look, even
if
he,
you're falling back, you're not going to get as much on it as you want.
Even he said it was the worst interception he's ever thrown in his life. So I'm not the one saying it. He said it too. But it was pretty bad. And then yet another fumble on a handoff. The third one in 2 games. This time in their own red zone instead of somebody else's red zone. I don't know which one's worse. So
what's up with that, by the way, too?
Well, I don't know, but that's you can't win football games doing that. I mean, you can get away with it against Charleston Southern because you're eventually going to pull away just over with talent and depth, which is exactly what they did, and they cleaned stuff up in the second half. But if you do that against Florida State, you're going to get blown out. That's just all there is to it. So we'll see.
I mean, they got another fairly easy game to continue correcting things and cleaning stuff up.
They need to put together a 4-quarter game next week.
I agree with you.
Yeah, we've seen 2 quarters of good play now. Let's carry that on. Not much to say about Charleston Southern. I mean, they did with they scored 17 points, which ain't bad on the road against Clemson. So Syracuse, on the other hand, is out here making noise in the ACC. Are you guys buying into this or what? They have, I think, the 3rd most efficient offense in the country. They are the only. I think they're the only team in the entire country to be top 5 in offense and top 5 in defense.
Listen, Syracuse
right now.
Syracuse right now walks like a duck, sounds like a duck, and looks like a duck. I think they might be a duck.
You think it might be one of these years that they?
I think they might be. I'm starting to sweat a little bit.
I mean, Syracuse kind of does that same thing where every few years Dino puts a team together.
Yeah, they're on one of those 3 or 4 year rotations as well. Yeah, they are. Now, I'm not saying that they should be winning the ACC or even make the ACC championship, but they might ruin some teams' hopes of doing so. You know what I mean?
Am I the only one that still is curious on what Dino Babers can do with a better program?
No, I think a lot of people think that. Same thing with Dave Clawson. There's a bunch of coaches that fall into that category. where they do a lot with little, but they're not consistent enough because they just don't recruit well enough to be competitive annually. But when every once in a while they put together a team that can compete. You know what I mean? But I agree with you. He's a really good coach.
I like Dino.
I do too. Anyway, they start the season out undefeated, unlike some teams in the ACC. Now, the big one of the week, Texas A&M travels down to Miami. Yada, yada, yada. Jimbo Fisher's got one of the best teams in the country. Yada, yada, yada. They have a chance to win the SEC this year. Yada, yada, yada. A lot of people had them in the playoffs. I don't see it. I didn't see it before this game. I don't see it after.
Did people have them in the playoffs?
Huh?
I never heard playoffs, but I still don't think that they're not a dark horse to win the West. The SEC West.
Well, the SEC West is still wide open because Alabama has a loss, A&M has a loss, and so does LSU. So, yeah. And now I'll still have to play each other.
And listen, what I've seen out of Alabama's defense, A&M will score on them.
Yeah, I don't think there's a team from the West making the playoffs. If an SEC team makes the playoffs, it's going to be, well, Georgia. I don't really even know who else it would be.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, it would only be Georgia if an SEC team is in the playoff.
I know Tennessee fans want to think they have a shot still, and I guess, mathematically they do, but I don't know, man. They haven't looked impressive so far. I know they got 2 wins. I get that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't look playoff ready.
I mean, in all seriousness, they can't start off games like this and expect to win. I mean, you can't spot a team 14 points in the first 10 minutes of the game and expect to win all your games. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm not expecting them to win them all anyway. But special team penalties, Jesus Christ. 10 penalties for 115 yards. Absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah.
But luckily, those things are correctable.
That's true.
But being the rational person that I am, I'm only bumping their ceiling up to 9 wins from 8.
Yeah, I'm with you there. But what, I mean, what do we learn out of Miami? I mean, I said it. You heard me all off season. Or definitely the couple of weeks before leading into the season, I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if they won 10 games. I wouldn't be surprised if they won 6. I need to see what they look like. They've far exceeded my expectations. Now they played Miami up north, beat the brakes off of them, and then really just dominated A&M. I know. I actually think they could have beat them worse than they did, and it was pretty bad. The final score anyway.
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, they spotted them the 14, but one of my biggest takeaways from this game is, and I don't think anybody would argue this point, over the better part of the last 15 or so years, I mean, Miami come out and did all that in the first quarter. They just packed it in. When they took the lead before halftime, I was like, that's a wrap. They're winning this game.
Yeah.
And I do think Van Dyke has reestablished himself as a top 10 quarterback in the country. That was the Tyler Van Dyke that we saw the second half of 2021.
Yeah, and if they would have went out there and did that thing, or went out and blew out, I don't know, pick a team, some unranked team, it would have been more of, oh yeah, well, Van Dyke looks good so far this year, but look who they played against. They haven't played against any real competition. So all the people that have been running around tell us how talented Texas A&M is. Now you can't say that. Now we can have a debate about how good Texas A&M's coaching is, but you can't have a debate about how good their players are, because they have, I believe, like the 3rd most talented team in the country on paper. Yeah. But that's every year. So, but anyway, I would still consider that to be a statement win for Miami, and they've got some tough games ahead of them. They got Clemson coming to town. They got to play Florida State, North Carolina, so the road doesn't get any easier for Miami, especially if Clemson gets better and North Carolina's defense improves. So
right.
Anyway,
like I said, I'm not jumping overboard with it, but And props to that offensive line. I mean, yeah, Tyler Van Dyke was getting rid of the ball quick, but the times he had to stand back in the pocket and wait on plays to develop. I mean, there were a few passes where he had time to sit back there and make a sandwich. That offensive line has done a complete 180 from last year.
Yeah, you can't give somebody as good as Van Dyke that long. I mean, he will eat you alive.
I'm just going to say this. The Miami fan base needed this. The signature win, this was a great win. I mean, for the Miami program as a whole. This is what the fans were looking for, something to prove, and this is it.
Well, and I think it's, in my opinion, regardless of how the season turns out, because of how that game worked out, it's kind of proof of concept for what Mario's been saying about what he's building towards. That team is going to be dangerous with a couple more top 5 to 10 recruiting classes under his belt.
This is probably the most dominant, impressive win against a highly ranked team since Notre Dame in 2017, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, much needed. Let's see if they can continue it. All right.
Like I said, I think they will for the most part, but of course, Miami fans on the internet are being Miami fans on the internet.
All right, Luke. You escaped by the hair of your chinny chin against App State. Are they your nemesis? Are they your Syracuse to Clemson?
Kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
Are they your North Carolina to Miami?
Kind of. I mean, we're done playing them, thank goodness. Now NC State has to deal with those problems.
I think you need to sign a 10-year agreement like Virginia Tech did with Old Dominion. These have been a couple of good games to watch.
It's not been good for me to watch. I don't ever want to play App State or East Carolina again.
Oh yeah, Eric says, did y'all know that Mario Cristobal was a black belt in jiu-jitsu?
I did.
Never heard that.
Never heard it before?
Did you know DJ lost 25 pounds?
No, I never heard that either.
My head coach can beat up all of y'all's head coach.
Can he? Now I'll give you this: you might not be able to beat up Mark Zuckerberg, but Mario Cristobal could. All right.
Yeah, I ain't fighting Mario, but I'll still whoop that fucking alien.
Did this game go to overtime, Luke?
Went to double overtime.
Double overtime, yeah. Man, y'all escaped a tragedy there. Would that have ended your season? Do you think?
What do you consider ending our season?
I mean, it wouldn't have.
We're not making the playoff anyway. But,
well, it wouldn't have affected conference play. But
yeah, like North Carolina doesn't have a chance. The ACC it's pretty wide open right now.
Well, that's an
It
understatement.
seems like it's going to be a battle to see who plays Florida State and Charlotte.
We'll see.
But our pass rush looked good again. We didn't have
He
any
said it's a
sacks.
battle
We were
for
getting the
who
ball out
plays
quick.
Florida
We were
State
right there.
in Charlotte.
Yeah, we heard him.
And,
Yeah. Deal with it. Truth.
but our D-linemen were right there.
What have you done so far, True Seminole? I mean,
What have you done so far? We both
done
beat
the
SEC
same
teams.
thing
So your
so
resume ain't
far.
impressive either in that sense.
Okay, but you've done the same thing so far that you did last year.
All right,
win games?
hold on now. Slim brings up a good point. What has Florida State done that's any more impressive than what Miami's done so far?
Okay, last year
LSU is better
LSU
than
we won
Texas
by 1
A&M.
point. This year we beat LSU and looked dominant in the second half doing it.
Texas
And
A&M
we
won
looked
5
dominant
games last year. I
basically
feel
the
like
whole
we're
game.
overhyping them a little bit.
All right.
I still think LSU is a better team than Texas A&M, and I think that will come to fruition.
I still think Jimbo Fisher is a better coach than Brian Kelly.
Huh?
Prove me wrong.
What?
Well, there's a case to be made for that.
Maybe in 2013, not
Is there?
2023.
Well, Jimbo Fisher has a shit ton more big wins than Brian Kelly does.
Jimbo Fisher has
And a national
recruiting
championship.
class
Jimbo
and
Fisher
still
has.
underperformed.
What?
Brian Kelly ain't had no number one recruiting class.
When's the last time Jimbo Fisher won a big game? When's the last time Jimbo Fisher
Alabama
played
a
the
few
big
years
games?
ago.
A lot more recently than
last year.
Brian Kelly, sir. And a lot more of them, too.
Brian Kelly beat Alabama last year? Did Texas
Oh, my
beat
God.
Alabama?
Beat Alabama.
I mean, that's what Slim is considering
that's
a
what
big
Slim
game. He
brought
said
up.
Texas A&M beat Alabama last year, so did LSU.
All right.
Okay, well, so their accomplishments there are the same. Jimbo's trophy room is still a hell of a
And
lot
Brian Kelly
older
had
than Brian Kelly's.
a shorter tenure at LSU. The resumes are not the same.
No, but he has a longer tenure as a head coach.
Okay, yeah, at Notre Dame, but I'm saying at LSU, he's a better coach than Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, Jimbo beat LSU last year. He beat Brian Kelly. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah.
I still believe
So
Brian
that's
Kelly's in a better
another
position.
Look, man, this isn't even a
Brian
debate.
Kelly's not as good as
This is
Jimbo
not a
Fisher, it's
debate.
just a fact.
Jimbo Fisher beats him in every category, except for maybe winning percentage in regular season when Brian Kelly was at Notre Dame. Because Brian Kelly won 10, 11 games every year, but that was it.
And the quality of their current team.
Yeah, and it's let's not forget, it's probably a little easier to beat all those terrible USC teams during his tenure, which not his fault, but it is what it is.
Fact.
All I'm saying
anyway.
is LSU won the West last year. Texas A&M wasn't in there.
So anyway, you proved my point. Florida State hasn't done anything any more impressive in 2023 than Miami has. They haven't. Can you at least say that?
Over half of the country disagrees with you. That's what I can say.
Yeah, I don't care. Over half of the hey, listen. Over the half of the country disagreed with me and you that Florida State would beat LSU, didn't they? And they were wrong.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
They were wrong.
Did anybody on this show disagree with you? Besides Slim?
We'll end this argument in November in Tallahassee.
Yeah, with Florida State winning.
Maybe.
Maybe
not.
All right.
And I also like our odds to rematch, even if we do lose.
I do think that can happen. I do think you could see a rematch between FSU and Miami in the ACC championship. I do believe it. I do think that.
Miami owns you there because FSU's never beat us twice in a season. We have beat you twice in a season.
Well, yeah. I was about to say, you own us in the ACC championship. I was about to say, y'all ain't never won, so.
No, we beat you twice in a season, though. You've never beat us twice in a season.
Well, this year would be a good year to start.
Y'all just writing off the perennial champs. Be careful.
I'm not writing off
writing off both the teams that were in the championship game last year.
Yeah.
Careful. I'm not writing off anything. I just said from what I saw out of Miami, I'll give them a shot to make it.
That's what I said.
There's like 6 teams in the ACC that have a shot to make it.
The Clemson fans are just all doomsday right now.
I mean, I'm not happy with.
I was in Bobby Durkin's stream earlier, and they really are. I mean, they're almost, not quite, almost as down bad as Alabama fans.
Yeah. I'm not happy with what I've seen, but I'm not ready. Like I said, I don't think this team is as bad as it's looked, but we'll see. We'll find out really soon. I mean, we got some big games coming up here.
It's a talented
We'll find out in a couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll find out in a couple weeks.
I've said before, at least in my opinion, Dabo Swinney's earned the benefit of the doubt. So, until he goes and loses to Florida State and Notre Dame and whatever happens, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that he's going to right the ship because I've seen him do it.
Well, it's funny because whenever I, was debating with people about Duke week 1, everyone's going, well, I mean, not that Clemson's, not good because they are, but I mean, they got a new offensive coordinator, they got a new starting quarterback. Like it's going to take some time to get that going. And then when it doesn't get going, they go, oh, you're terrible. It's like, all right, we'll see.
I will say I wish Carolina played Clemson like next week instead of in November.
Yeah, you want to play them early in the season, that's for sure. I think they'll definitely get. But now I'm not claiming. Look, I don't know. I have no idea what they're going to look like at the end of the season, but I have to believe that they're going to look better than they do now.
Yeah.
They better. Otherwise, then you'll see a real then you will see like a Alabama and type meltdown if that happens.
I'd love to see the PigskinPeete channel if Clemson goes like 8-4.
Yeah.
The headphones break part 2.
Hey, PigskinPeete would probably have 20,000 subscribers.
Yeah, it'll be good for business. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, moving on. Duke takes care of who was that again?
Lafayette.
Yeah, Lafayette. Duke, are they the crown jewel of the ACC right now? Man.
No.
Do they have the best in-conference win?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I
I
mean,
mean,
they're
the only
sitting
two
atop the
in-conference
ACC
wins are Duke over
standings.
Clemson and Louisville over Georgia Tech.
Yeah. Duke fans are. I never even saw a Duke fan until last Monday. Now they broke Clemson. They can add them to the list of the 5 other teams that broke Clemson.
You ask a Duke fan, they should be ranked number 1 in football and basketball this week.
Now we'll see how this season turns out, but I may be able to claim that Miami broke Jimbo Fisher's coaching career.
That's what I need to look. I need to see where that FSU Duke game's at. That might be one I need to circle.
FSU plays a tough schedule. Clemson,
Yeah, we're in the ACC. Of course, we got a tougher schedule than half the SEC.
That's true. Especially the SEC East. You get to play bum teams like Florida.
Dude, I legitimately don't know which one's worse between the East and the West this year. They both look pretty bad.
The East,
I
at
think
least, has
Georgia's the only thing holding up the East.
Georgia's the only thing holding up the conference.
I don't know. I mean, because
we were talking about conference, so
well, if you look, well, let's put it this way: the big 3 in the West all have losses. The big 3 in the East, only one of them has a loss.
Yeah.
The SEC this year is a lot like the ACC in like 2018. It's Clemson and a bunch of mediocre teams. Except it's Georgia and a bunch of mediocre teams.
Yeah, and plus they still have to play each other in the West. All the ones have 1 loss, so at least 2 of those are going to catch at least 1 more L, probably 2.
I'm enjoying watching Paul Feinbaum's brain overload.
You know, the winner of the West might roll into Atlanta for the championship game with 3 L's. Straight up. At least 2.
Very real possibility.
Yep. And then what if they won it?
Oh, my God.
Imagine the SEC has 0 playoff teams.
That would be hilarious. Oh,
No,
man.
That wouldn't be possible. They'd probably take the
unfortunately,
3-loss SEC
No,
champion.
yeah, they would.
no, they wouldn't put the 3-loss SEC champion.
They would
still
definitely put a
in
3-loss
Georgia.
SEC champion in there.
They probably
They
would.
put in Georgia, who lost the SEC championship.
Well, because they've already proven they'll put in a team that loses this conference championship game, so that's why I'm on board with just fucking canceling the things. They don't mean anything. Fuck it. Why do it?
Well, they're supposed to mean
money.
something. They pretend like they mean something, but anyway.
Where'd
Pitt's.
Sea-Dog go?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Maybe his internet went out. All right.
Camper life.
Moving on. Pittsburgh lost to Cincinnati. And, man, did you hear Phil Jerkovich's comments?
I have to say, I regretfully announce that I'm off the Phil Dracovic bandwagon. I've been on it for 3 years, supporting Boston College and now Pittsburgh. But the dude just got outplayed by Emory Jones, so I'm officially off.
I think I am too. I mean, he's played.
Oh, go ahead.
He's played for 3 teams now and hasn't shown us anything. I mean, he couldn't win
We'll
this.
always have the first half of 2020.
Right, he couldn't win the starting job at Notre Dame. It was no good at Boston College. Goes out there and lays an egg against Cincinnati for Pittsburgh. And I think Pittsburgh's a pretty good team. I still think that they are, but I don't know, man.
We'll find out because they've got West Virginia and North Carolina, so we'll see.
Yeah, they got West Virginia's this week, I think. But not to continue the hate on Jimbo talk, but I'm gonna continue it for a second. He went full Ryan Day on us.
Oh man. First of all, he's known for doing this. That's what people don't realize. Jimbo does this.
What did he say?
Miami defensive players were clapping. That's one of the excuses he gave for them losing, simulating.
Oh, so it's like the Shane Beamer hot dogs, the chain gang?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, it gets worse.
It's probably worse than that. Yeah.
Only half the field got dry from the rain because the sun was only shining on half the field. And then, they share the stadium with the Dolphins, so they have to repaint the field, and the paint was still wet. But last time I checked, the NFL plays on Sunday, not Friday.
Well, not only that,
the Texas A&M side is dry. If only half the field is dry.
Well, they switched sides at halftime, first of all, and they're all playing on the same field.
Yes.
I mean, clapping. Jesus Christ.
They were clapping. I told you.
I'm so happy he's gone.
Well, Dabo gets the label as a crybaby, but there's much bigger crybabies out there than Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney gets annoyed with the way college football is going, but he doesn't ever make excuses about losing football games.
No, listen, Dabo Swinney may say some goofy shit that I don't agree with, but there is no and will never be a bigger crier in college football. And this is a well-defended title that Nick Saban has.
Jimbo Fisher's been giving him a run for his money recently.
I think Jimbo is a more, yeah. I think you can put.
Jimbo cries about more nonsensical stuff than Nick Saban does.
Maybe it's just tenure. I mean, Saban's been doing it for longer. Maybe that's why I think Saban.
But Saban's sort of in the same boat as Dabo. When they label his crying, it's not about losing the game and blaming it on somebody.
Yeah, but he's never got on ESPN and talked and went on for 10 minutes on how the committee should still put Alabama in because nobody would be favored against them.
Well, first of all, I don't blame Saban for doing that. So this is like during the week where they're about to pick the top 4 teams, and what he's doing is stumping. He's talking directly to the playoff committee, trying to get his team in there. That's all he's trying to do. I mean, he might not even believe what he's saying, but he's trying to make a case to persuade the committee to consider putting Alabama in there. That's different than talking about the paint on the field and clapping and whatever other nonsense Jimbo was talking about in the hot dog chain gang thing with Beamer. In my opinion, it's different. He's just sticking up for his team, not blaming a loss on stupid shit that doesn't matter. But it's kind of like Dave Doran does this too, right? With the laptop thing with Clemson when they lost that game that year. Oh. Anyway, Pitt loses. Unfortunate game to a Group of 5 team. Florida State goes out there and dominates yet again. Did Jordan Travis play that whole game?
No, he did not.
When did they take him out?
After the third quarter.
Okay. Any bad news? I mean, I don't want to rain on anybody's parade,
I don't know what really you could take from this game. I mean, the starting defense gave up maybe 3 points all game, and then you had a bunch of rotational guys in. It's just one of those games that you did what you're supposed to do. There's nothing really you can take from this game other than just handling business.
Oh, sorry. Did I say Group of 5 team? Force of habit. Yeah, Cincinnati's not Group of 5 team anymore. But no injuries or anything like that, right?
One that I'm a little worried about, Akeem Dent, starting safety. That's the only one. He kind of hurt his hamstring, and he was out for the rest of the game. I don't know. We didn't hear much more about that injury yet. Should be getting an update on that Wednesday or Thursday.
All right. Well, if that's all.
And for those that didn't hear, that Cam Kitchens is out of the hospital, and all tests were fine. He's reported on social media he's fine. Yeah. Apparently, he's even been cleared to play, but I still don't think they will play him this week because there's no need to.
Yeah, I don't know why you would. That'd be stupid.
And so what was it?
Mario's refusing to say. I mean, best educated guess will probably just be a bad stinger.
Yeah, it might have strained something or something.
I will say something.
An concussion or something.
Trey Benson he don't seem as explosive as he was last year. That's the only downside of really, other than of course the Akeem Dent injury. But Trey Benson, I don't see that same explosiveness that I seen last year.
A super stinger, yeah.
I do like how they're leaving in Jordan Travis till the fourth quarter to try and pad his stats.
I know that he's going to pull up stats.
Listen, I'm against it, and I'm on record with this, even with my own team. Like this week, there's no need for it. I don't want to see a starter past the first quarter.
All I can say is USC leaves Caleb in to pad his stats, and that's how you get a Heisman, I guess.
It's dumb, in my opinion.
It depends on the quarterback too, though, because I think Van Dyke's a veteran, Travis is a veteran, but somebody like Cade Klubnik, with the struggles he's had early on, needs all the reps he can get. But they took him out early too, though. I mean, he went out at the beginning of the fourth quarter. They played two more quarterbacks.
And actually, I got into a conversation with a Florida State fan on T2I's channel about this. I was like, if anything, I'd be trying to get, especially my backup quarterback, as many reps as I can, because Travis has got an injury history.
Yeah.
Rodemaker's a pretty veteran backup quarterback, though.
Yeah, I would much rather see Brock Glenn or AJ, which Brock Glenn was out there for a little bit, but I'd like to see Brock Glenn and AJ Duffy get a few more than Tate Rodemaker.
But, I mean, how much real game time has Rodemaker seen? I mean, most of the time, when I've seen backups come in against Miami, it's been James Blackman for the most part, and I realize he's gone now, but...
Well, lucky the only time we've had to bring Tate Rodemaker in when Travis was injured was last year for the Louisville game, and he did pull out that win for us.
You played better against Louisville than Jordan Travis did.
Well, Jordan Travis also left that game early.
I mean, I get it. You're running it in practice and all the time, but I'm just a firm believer there's no experience like game experience, even if it is against a bad team.
Of course, that's where the pressure comes. When the mistakes matter.
All right, moving on to week 3 here. Where are we at? Oh, no, what did I do?
What is that? Oh, we got Stanford on the graphic. I just saw that.
Yeah. All right, moving on to week 3.
Count and make sure all the teams are represented on the graphic.
Yeah, they're all there, I think.
Put Stanford on there.
Okay, don't look at it too close.
I got to give the graphics guy credit. So he's been flawless these past couple of weeks. Stepped his game up.
Stanford is on there because, well, we had a Stanford buddy in the chat last week. I haven't seen him tonight, but I mean, we talk about teams every week on here that we've never seen a fan. Like, we've never seen a Syracuse fan on here or
no love for Cal.
He's checking what the neighborhood's like.
So, I mean, why not throw Stanford on there? We had a Stanford tree person show up last week. Thought we'd show them a little love. Haven't seen them this week, but maybe they'll come back around and be stoked on that. Barbara is in the chat. She wants to know why the hate for Bama. What's up? What's up, Barbara? There is no hate for Bama. It's just when you lose, you get made fun of. That's just the way things go.
Now your coach is a crybaby. I mean, it is what it is.
All right. Should we even talk about Bethune Cookman in Miami? I mean, is there anything to say about this? I mean,
we dropped 70 on them last year as bad as we were.
Yeah, you probably will this year, too.
Shout out Bethune Cookman, though.
Like I said, the only thing I want to see out of this game is basically everybody with a jersey on the sidelines playing. And I don't want to see a starter past the first quarter.
I mean, if you're Miami, you don't want to see a starter after the second half.
That's why I say not even the second half. I say the first quarter. Give them a couple drives in the first quarter. Set the starters. Let Ja'Cory Brown and Emory Williams get in there, and all the rest of the backups. If somebody goes down, I mean, look what happened with Cam Kitchens. Okay, it's an All-American safety you're not going to have in a game. Now, granted, his backup got the interception that sealed the game there at the end. Great. Oh, okay, fine. I still want to see, more game times for second, third, and fourth stringers for obvious reasons.
I'm just looking at these games. These are terrible games.
This is
We got the ACC Big
This is like
challenge, man.
It's not even. It's not even just the ACC.
I know. I know. I know the whole. I know.
The ACC Big Ten Challenge doesn't move you?
No.
No, because they're not good matchups. I mean, is anybody getting excited about Virginia and Maryland?
It's on a Friday night, so I might watch it.
Is anybody getting excited about Louisville and Indiana?
Isn't Tua's little brother still at Maryland?
I think he is, yeah.
He is.
Maryland's a 14.5-point favorite.
And it should be, and they'll probably win too, but I don't know,
Probably
man.
win. I might take Virginia to cover that.
Maryland took Ohio. Me and Pete were watching that in the SO Club after the Miami Clemson game. Maryland took Ohio State down to the wire last year. That is not a bad team.
No, they're not bad. They're not bad at all.
Charlotte last week.
Wake Forest and Old Dominion. I mean, it's just like everyone's worse than the one before.
Wake Forest favored against Old Dominion by less than Maryland.
What is this? I mean, does Old Dominion have a contract with the ACC now?
I'm so excited, to be honest with you, that we aren't being made fun of for this because Ole Miss did go to Tulane last week. Just going to point out there, the ACC is not the only ones doing this now.
Ole Miss did go to Tulane.
The infection.
No, we've never been the only one doing it, but we do it more than anybody else. The ACC is a collection of disasters with the Friday night games every year, with the going on the road and playing lower classification teams, with allowing Notre Dame to come in and not be a part of the conference, but make decisions for the conference. It's just a comedy of errors.
That Notre Dame shit still boggles my mind.
Well, and then I got people coming, and again, I don't blame it on Notre Dame. Notre Dame is the one. I mean, they're making out like a bandit in this. Because I get every once in a while I get Notre Dame fans going, "Why are you hating on Notre?" I'm not. I'm hating on the ACC. There's a difference. I don't blame Notre Dame one bit.
I do.
But anyway, Louisville, Indiana, who cares? I mean, really. I mean, I guess Louisville's undefeated. They still.
So Indiana actually canceled the second leg of this. Of this deal here, so of this home and home series, so they're getting the home game and then they're canceling their away game next year.
So wait, you're telling me Louisville's having to go to Indiana?
Yeah. Well,
yeah, Louisville goes to Indiana,
but Indiana don't have to go to Louisville in return.
But you're seeing a lot of this happen because of conference realignment.
Yeah, that's what that has to do with it. With adding all the teams of the Big Ten, they're going to restructure their schedule.
Yeah, that's why Georgia played UT Martin this year. They were supposed to open the season with Oklahoma.
There's going to be a lot of games that were scheduled around the country for next year that are canceled. And not even just next year, maybe even 2 and 3 years into the future.
This is why you probably shouldn't schedule games for 15 years in the future.
Well, that's a whole different debate.
Miami isn't going to be canceled, is it?
Now, the argument Georgia fans have made was, well, there would be 2 games in Norman and only 1 in Athens. So, haven't we been to Clemson 2 times in a row and there's only been 1 in Hard Rock? Last time Clemson came to Hard Rock, got Al Golden fired.
Well, the reason for that is because you came to Clemson in 2020, and that was COVID year. So the schedule was all screwed up in 2020 for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was no out-of-conference play, and there was a shortened season.
Saying, though, okay, 2 of them are in Norman, or 2 of them are in Clemson. So what?
I mean, ideally, you want it to be fair. You want to schedule home and homes, but you know.
Let me break it. Let some big cat out of the bag. Life ain't fair.
No, especially not with what's happening with. I mean, the Pac-12 is going away. That's going to screw all. Imagine the Big Ten. Good luck to whoever's scheduling over there. I mean, because they play the Pac-12 on a regular basis, the same way that the ACC plays the SEC on a regular basis. So they're adding all those teams. The SEC is adding teams. It's confusing. And the SEC is eliminating divisions too, on top of that. So
I'm sure Sea Dog's still all broken up about that.
About what now? About divisions?
Yes.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, he's the last one.
He could have had SMU in their division.
Dude, I mean, we got to freaking play we gotta freaking play like Boston College this year and Syracuse instead of getting to play Duke and Virginia Tech and Pitt.
Now, here's one at least decent thing about SMU. A lot of the players that transferred out of Miami went there with Rhett Lashley, so they actually have some decent talent.
Well, the ironic
SMU
thing
actually might be dangerous in Power 5 conference with all that oil money they have.
The ironic thing is the elimination of divisions in some of these conferences might be short-lived with all the teams that are coming in. They might have to make divisions again because there are going to be so many teams. I mean, you don't have to, but
I hope so.
I mean, it's sort of like the NFL. I mean, the reason they have divisions is because of the amount of teams that are in each conference.
I just don't want to see Florida State versus Duke in the ACC championship again.
I'm still all on board with Sea Dog's idea of the All Coast Conference, though.
Well, that's too late now because the Big Ten's got the best teams, and the Big 12 went and took their share, and the ACC came in very last and got the two worst teams that add zero value.
We didn't get the two worst teams. The two worst teams aren't in the conference.
Right. So we got the two second worst teams that add zero value.
Well, would it technically be third and fourth worst?
Yeah,
third and fourth worst.
I mean, Stanford adds a little value, but not nearly as much as any other Pac-12 team.
I mean, we got not sloppy seconds, but sloppy thirds from what the other conferences wanted.
I mean, whenever Dion leaves Colorado, Stanford's going to be more valuable than Colorado.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah. Colorado really struck while the iron was hot. I mean, they did it before Dion had even proven himself. I mean, nobody knew.
That's also kind of like a history thing.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's true.
Talk is pit. I don't know what you mean. He says, I think it's dumb to get rid of divisions, then turn around the next year and add 3 teams. Well, the only reason they added 3 teams is in response to what happened with the Big Ten and the SEC. I mean, it wasn't like they knew that was going to happen.
I mean, from the ACC, like, you know, the top brand, like the people that run the conference, it's a good move for them, but it's a horrible move for teams like Florida State that's trying to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, too bad.
I mean, you can tell by the 3 teams that voted no.
Well, I know.
I'm so excited for the
anytime
ACC
soon.
to send all 3 teams that voted no to the West Coast next year.
Now here's an honest question with this. Now I do get as far as waiting to go and add teams, but then again, we don't know necessarily that they did. You know, whoever's the head of the ACC now, I mean, isn't he kind of dealing with the mess somebody else created?
Yeah, this is all John Swofford's fault.
Well, I don't know
because for all we know, he didn't wait to add teams. I mean, they very well could have been added and was turned down.
Well, yeah, I doubt that, though. This was clearly a knee-jerk reaction to the Pac-12 dissolving and the Big Ten swallowing up all the good teams in it. I mean, that's pretty clear.
I just don't understand.
I mean, it was a last-ditch effort.
ACC is always reacting. They can never be proactive, and I mean,
how do you know they weren't attempting to add other schools?
I mean, how many chances has there been? Okay, well, if they attempted and failed, if the ACC attempted and failed to add teams this entire time, then they deserve to die. Because
we should have jumped on the Big 12 whenever.
Well, here's how I know they weren't attempting to add teams, because what are they going to do? Go to to somebody in the Big Ten or the SEC and go, hey, I know you guys got like twice as much money more than us and a TV deal every year, but come join our conference.
No, not the Big Ten and SEC, but there was a period after Texas and Oklahoma left where the Big 12 was in a state of panic, and we could have got some teams from them. We could have got Cincinnati, UCF. We could have got.
No, we should not.
How do you know they didn't try to do that?
That's exactly the point I've made, Luke. But it just gets brushed off.
Listen, I know.
What incentive does any team have besides desperation to join the ACC?
I know UCF and Cincinnati don't add a lot of value, but they probably add more than Sanford and Cal.
What value does UCF give you? Cincinnati, I understand.
Listen, I'm not saying that should have been our first choice. In fact, you can go back and look at videos I did 2 years ago saying that won't save the conference.
Well,
now I can get with you with Cincinnati, but not UCF because
Yeah.
they're already well
saying
into the
there
Florida
were-
TV market, and that's the name of the game is to get into new TV markets.
there were so many better options than Sanford, Cal, and SMU. I mean, like I
those three
said,
were the only options we had.
no,
think
they
we
were
should have
not.
added
There was,
anybody,
like I
but-
just said, there was a period where the Big 12 was in a state of panic, and
How
they
do you
didn't
know
have
they
their
didn't
TV
try
deal.
and they didn't just get told no?
I would actually be willing to bet that Oregon and Washington probably told them no.
All right. So
Yeah,
explain
Oregon
this
and
to me.
Washington
Explain
were
this to
there for
me. Memphis, rather. There's no ACC TV market in Tennessee right now. Why are they not in the ACC?
I agree with you. I wish they would have gone after Memphis or Louisiana.
They still could.
Yeah, Memphis would have been a better pick than SMU or Cal.
And then if not Oregon,
I don't think
Washington,
Memphis is a
why
better
not?
pick than SMU.
What about
I don't agree with that.
what about the teams the Big 12 added? I mean, those add more value than.
I think another Texas school would have been better than SMU. Maybe getting a Baylor or a Texas Tech or one of them.
Why would Baylor
instead
leave
of
the Big
SMU.
12? They make the exact same amount of money for less years than we do.
There was
I
a
just
time
think
when
I
we
would
could have
like one
coached
of
Big
them
12.
more than
Well,
SMU.
hang on though. It's also not as easy as just going after a Big 12 team because the reason you're able to go after Pac-12 teams is because they didn't have a TV contract.
Neither did the Big 12 until they added Cincinnati and UCF.
See, that's the piece of information that I'm
They also
lacking,
added
is I don't know
Cincinnati
when
and
they did
UCF.
that.
There was a
month later.
period of time
There
after
wasn't a
Tex-
large gap in between those times.
There was a period of time after Texas and Oklahoma left where the Big 12 could have been
Was
rated.
up for grabs. I completely agree with
Yes,
you.
there is. Then
Why
there was
no
a time
other
when the
conference
Pac-12
had
was.
anybody?
Because,
all
I
the
mean,
while-
what was the other conferences? Pac-12 wasn't going to bribe nobody to go over there, and the Big Ten wanted big fish, so they went and got USC and UCLA.
And
Why would they
Oregon.
waste their time or with Texas Tech or Oklahoma State when they could get USC?
Well, I also don't think, and I've said this before, I don't think that the Big 12 is on such higher standing than the ACC adding a bunch of Group of 5 teams.
Well, they're not going to die. They're not going to die. They're not going to go away.
The ACC isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
I would say that the ACC is long until the big dogs leave. The ACC is a better conference than the Big 12.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, until they do leave, which is inevitable because of the ACC's poor decision making.
Well, nothing's inevitable. A lot can happen in the next.
Well, if we add Notre Dame and work out a better TV deal, then you have a-
Wrong. Not happening.
Exactly.
That will never happen.
Exactly. That won't happen. So yeah, the ACC is on borrowed time. You can't hold
No,
your team hostage.
I
to
don't
great
think so.
rights
I
and
think they
survive
can
as a
absolutely.
conference.
I think if now I don't know what the head office of the ACC is doing, but they need to be getting together with ESPN and putting some numbers together and go, hey, Notre Dame, it doesn't matter what NBC is giving you, we can beat it.
Yeah. Well, Notre Dame
And yes,
values
it
their
can be
independent-
beat because
independent.
I honestly, I think folks are absolutely off their rocker talking about Notre Dame's going to get $40 million a year out of NBC for 6 games.
Yeah, you're right. They're getting
Bullshit.
60.
Yeah, they're
actually.
getting more than that.
No,
Yeah, they're getting
Yeah.
60.
they're not. I don't believe it.
They are.
They
I'll
definitely
have to see
will.
it to believe it.
I
And
believe
we'd have to beat Notre Dame's independent TV deal by a good bit to get them to join.
Exactly,
Then why
because
would
Notre Dame
ESPN
values their
add an extra
independence.
$300 billion or something to the ACC contract
Yeah.
just for Notre Dame?
Now, if you got Oregon and Washington in addition to that, then that would be a really strong
Why would
Team-
Oregon and Washington have joined the ACC?
for more money.
They
I
wouldn't
mean,
have made more money.
there was a time when they weren't sure if they could get into the Big Ten or not.
There was
you know?
never a time when they weren't sure they could get into the Big
There
Ten.
was
They
a
were waiting to see
year.
what the Pac-12
There was
got.
a year.
There was not.
There was. USC and UCLA announced that they were going to the Big Ten, and then a year later,
No, they just announced that like in the
That was a
spring.
year later. but
that was
doesn't-
that was last offseason. Then this offseason, Oregon and Washington announced they were going to the Big Ten. There was a year gap between those two.
There was, but the Pac-12 was thinking they could get just as much as the ACC got. So why would they have left?
Why did
Yeah,
they
so
leave the
the
Big Ten?
the
They
time
could've
They're getting
period,
double the TV money.
the time period of the Pac-12 not getting a TV deal and Oregon, Washington going to the Big Ten was literally just a matter of weeks.
It wasn't even weeks. It was like 12 hours.
Was it that short?
And it was like 3 days or something. It was very short. Yeah.
And then I just okay. And then I mean, even besides Oregon and Washington, then the Big 12 swoops in and takes up all the other.
Yes, because Colorado and Arizona
teams
are so much more.
If you were going to go after the Pac, so why
Stanford.
not like Oregon State, Washington State? I don't understand why did they like Stanford so much?
Now, that's where I will agree with you, True Seminole. I don't understand why they didn't go after Oregon State and Washington.
I mean, Stanford has the academic piece, and they're historically good at football.
Stanford and Cal have the academic stuff and the Olympic sports stuff.
No, Olympic sports. Now, so Slim, you were talking about, it's not the last commissioner's fault necessarily. It's a new commissioner. Well, this is what I'm talking about. The new commissioner is making dumbass decisions just like the old one did.
Exactly, and it's not. I mean, this is a lot of scenarios where you're talking about the ACC just couldn't do anything. You're telling me in every single one of these scenarios, the ACC was powerless to add teams and strengthen it. So,
well, at the end of the day, though, we can
join a conference that all the big members are looking to leave.
I mean, yeah,
because when you bring in new teams,
actually, that's actually a really good point, because look at it from Oregon State, Washington State's perspective. With Florida State going public that they want out, and Clemson publicly saying that we're basically backing it. That's it. I mean, you're shooting yourself in the foot there, basically, as far as making the ACC any better.
They're doing that because they're not making enough money. So if they
and we added Cal and Stanford, they still don't make enough money.
Exactly.
So what would adding Washington State and Oregon State do to that money?
And then on top of that, you cost the money, you cost the universities, because it's not about just football, or not even just about football and basketball or baseball. All the other sports that you were talking about earlier, it costs money, or way more money, to travel across the country every week than it does, regionally. So you're even if you're making a little bit more money, you're not making that much more money. And now they're talking about doing some dumb shit. Well, we'll offset the cost, for the smaller sports by meeting in the middle of the country. I mean, what are they doing? It's a fucking disaster.
It's true. Adding Stanford and Cal is an absolute travesty. It makes no sense.
I still think and now that this point's actually been brought up, logically it makes sense. From a PR perspective, Florida State very well could have screwed the ACC's ability to try and add anybody else but Stanford and Cal.
Yeah.
Well, no, because meanwhile, like we just mentioned, Oregon State and Washington State are sitting out there in limbo. And then, who knows what's going to happen with them? They probably would have been as eager as the other teams that we got to join the ACC. But no, academics and Olympic sports.
Cal and Stanford had.
Yeah, ACC is going to end up being the fucking Ivy League soon. Nobody's going to give a shit about them. Because of their academics and Olympic sports standards that nobody cares about. So,
I mean,
at least they'll still have that.
They don't have football or Olympic sports or academics.
Yeah. I'm already going to buy my ticket to the fucking rowing championships in 2028.
Woohoo! ACC pride.
My Jackets are taking that one home.
All right.
Now, will Peete be going to a Clemson game at Stanford?
No.
That's the question.
No. Why would I? I'm going to pay $2,000 to go to a Stanford game across the country? No. Oh, man.
Well, they're sending all three teams that voted against West Coast expansion to the West Coast, just to spite them.
Oh, yeah, they will.
So North Carolina, Clemson, and Florida State will be playing at Cal next year.
Oh, yeah. Let's punish them.
That's hilarious. This is why the ACC is going to die, but, I mean, it is what it is.
Now, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to turn the conversation sideways like that.
We're already pretty sideways.
I'm just wondering how well Dabo may survive UC Berkeley.
Oh God. Hey, you know what? That's a great point. They might like riot and throw a protest.
I'm just saying.
Like burn down their own buildings and Dabo can't come here. Yeah. Well, it's a disaster. And by the way, maybe Stanford has enough of a fan base, barely, to care enough, but nobody from Cal, no fan rather, is flying across the country to watch a football game. Not a single one of them. How many Cal fans do you think would spend a couple $1,000s to come watch them play Georgia Tech?
Well, listen, most of the student population at Cal can't get up to the upper deck of the bleachers. I mean, all those blue-haired land whales out there, come on.
Oh, man. I'm getting depressed. Let's move on. Well,
I need a favor out of Dabo. I need him to run out of the tunnel carrying a big-ass cross at
oh,
Cal.
my God. Cross. All right. Another not very interesting game. Florida State and Boston College. That's going to be 100-0. Virginia Tech and Rutgers. Yeah. You know what? That's actually a sleep.
I just got texted some breaking news.
What?
Now, this is somebody took a screenshot and sent it to me. According to sources close to the family, Nick Saban is retiring after the 2023.
Oh, yeah. According to sources. Sources.
Now, it's getting, I do believe it's getting there. But, I mean, it'll be like, just because some source says it and then it happened, like, eventually somebody will be right.
Uh-oh.
Listen, I've stated this numerous times. I think Nick Saban is smart enough not to see himself go down the Bobby Bowden route where he sticks around until he gets run off because they're just he doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah. He does.
He does. That house in Jupiter, Florida.
Well, he's probably got a lot of houses already, but that's not the point. He does. There is something different about him, though.
Miami,
he does seem to have a different sort of attitude and demeanor than he normally does. You know.
I mean, Lou's got a great point. Could you see anybody on Alabama's team having a golden pacifier in their mouth in 2015?
Well.
I mean, I get it's a troll. I get it's still but would that have happened then? No.
Those pacifier mouthpieces have been a thing for like 10 years.
I know. I mentioned it when I saw it live on my live stream last weekend, and Luke was in the chat. He goes, I used to use one of those too because it's easier to take out. I go, easier to take out?
Yeah, it's more comfortable in my mouth because I don't like those fitted mouthpieces. More comfortable in my mouth, like you're a baby. It's more.
What's so comfortable in your mouth? No, y'all go ahead. Continue this conversation, both of you.
Since when is anybody complained about how hard it was to take out your mouthpiece?
Never.
No.
I never said it's not hard to take out.
I'm gonna stay out of this.
Ours were attached to our face mask just like everybody else's.
Yeah, all you gotta do is spit it out. You don't even need. You can be handless and still. You can have two broken hands and still spit your mouthpiece out, and it wouldn't go on the ground. Anyway.
I think this is we're finding out some things about Luke Walker that none of us ever
know.
Yeah, Luke needed his binky.
Okay.
Luke, show up to the Slob Olympics. I'll bring you one of Riley's.
Anyway. I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure, breaking news, that it's got to be all over social media at this point. Somebody in the
that's what I was sent was a screenshot.
Yes, because somebody in the chat just said a few minutes ago, Dabo going home next year. I guess that's what they were referring to. Well, I got news for you. It might be a good move for Dabo, not because of the state of not because of the state of Clemson, but because of what's happening in the ACC. It might be a better deal for him to go over there since the ACC is a sinking ship. But I got news for Dabo. The criticism is not going to be any less in Alabama than it is in Clemson. I promise you that.
I mean, I think Clemson will be all right no matter what happens in conference.
Here's my thing with Dabo. I mean, he's been very outspoken about he doesn't like the direction college football is headed.
Yeah.
And I don't see him going to the NFL. He may just hang it up. I mean, it's not like he's in need of money.
I doubt it, man. He's only 52 years old. 53, maybe.
I understand that, but I would not be shocked.
I think I would. I don't think he's ready to give up coaching yet.
I don't think he wants to, but
even
like
if
he'll just look at it like I don't like what it's become. No.
Yeah, even if he did give it up, I think he would be back within a year of sitting at home.
Now, that's a
He's too young.
possibility as well.
He's too young, but yeah, I don't want to lose Dabo. I mean, I don't agree with everything he does and his stance on everything, but who is Clemson going to get better than Dabo at this point?
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Tim
I agree. I mean, if he was my coach, I wouldn't want to lose him.
You couldn't even say his name correctly.
Oh, well, whatever his name is, Elko. What is it?
Mike Elko.
Oh, Mike Elko.
Oh, yeah, Mike Elko.
And listen.
Deion Sanders.
If Duke puts together another season, Mike Elko is not going to be at Duke next season.
Oh, no.
Yeah, a Christian in the chat is making a comparison to Chris Peterson. Yeah, he walked away from football. That's very rare for a guy that young to walk away the way that he did and just kind of like disappear like he did.
Well,
imagine going from Dabo Swinney to Deion Sanders as your head coach.
Who was it at the Virginia coach did the same thing? He wasn't that old.
Yeah. Mendenhall.
Bronco Mendenhall, yeah.
Yeah, he just didn't want to deal with the modern era of college football. Like, you can't blame him for it.
Wow.
No, I can't because, I mean, listen, a lot of Dabo's stances on the changes to college football, I agree with him completely. I'm not a fan of them.
And as much as he complains about what's going on, and that's just his opinion, I don't get the feeling, though, that Dabo is, like, not having fun anymore or something. I still feel like he loves what he's doing and where he's doing it. But, I mean, who knows? You know?
I mean, it could be coach speak, like we all say. Who knows?
I think he's just shitting his bricks when Daddy FSU comes back.
Oh, Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
God. Here we go.
I get it in when I can.
We got games to talk about, or are we done?
We're just running through these. Most of them just aren't good. But Virginia Tech and Rutgers is interesting. I mean, from a like a win-loss standpoint or anything like conference standpoint.
Rutgers will beat them pretty comfortably.
Not so much, but this could be a good game. The game's at Rutgers. What do you guys think about that? I think this is a big game for Virginia Tech, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would have been in 2000. I mean, Rutgers was a perennial top 25 team in 2000.
I think this is getting back to competitiveness. I do think this is a big game for Virginia Tech.
I would be more interested in this game if Virginia Tech could beat Purdue, but now I just think Rutgers is going to win pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm not so convinced of that. I mean, now Rutgers isn't terrible, but like I said, this is a big game for Virginia. This will be a game that, nobody expects them to win. I think it would be a big win for the coach there in the program.
Yeah, Brent Pry.
Yeah. He's funny, that guy.
The Virginia Tech fans are not happy with him.
I know.
Virginia Tech fans are.
But Virginia Tech fans should just keep their mouths shut and let him cook for about 2 more years, and then we'll see if we like him or not.
I mean, listen, I don't get where Virginia Tech. I get that they're the dominant tech school in the ACC and all, but.
Very freaking funny. Well, guess what? Guess who freaking won the last annual Tecmo Bowl? That's right, the real Tech. Okay.
Anyway,
not VPI.
How much success did Frank Beamer really have? I mean, you had the run with Michael Vick, you had the run with Marcus Vick. and he was just sporadic after that.
Yeah, they didn't have like any sort of long run of no, you're right, they didn't. And they haven't historically either.
I mean, that's literally it for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, he did take them to heights they've never been to.
Yeah, still no.
I would say the Vic brothers did.
Well,
and I mean,
I don't know.
Bud Foster consistently had a good defense. I'll give him that. I mean, listen, you were always worried about going up against a Bud Foster defense.
Now, if Pry doesn't last at Virginia Tech, do they hire Shane Beamer?
Ooh.
Do we get to see office skits by Shane Beamer in the ACC?
It would be hilarious to see Shane Beamer go to Virginia Tech. That would be funny.
Did anyone see the Shane Beamer office skit?
No.
So I don't know. I stopped. He's got so many skits.
Oh my God!
I haven't seen it. But
and at this point, when you're saying the worst part of that North Carolina game was the hot dog crew, you lost a lot of credibility right
Yeah,
there.
I even saw a bunch of South Carolina fans stay off of Twitter and start coaching football because he's constantly on Twitter with his antics.
It was funny. He's talking about 45.
I mean, what he's like Manny Diaz 2.0.
I love that he's talking about the chain crew messing up his onside kick that they recovered, not the 3-and-out that followed.
Oh,
right.
Let's see. I don't even know if Virginia Tech wants Shane Beamer, quite frankly. Really?
I think Virginia Tech should just ride it out with Brent Pry.
Yeah. He's a good old boy.
He's a good old boy.
He is a good old boy.
I think everybody should be given their shot, and I mean, he's one season into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he inherited some juggernaut of a team that was full of talent. I mean, he inherited a dumpster fire.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, give the guy some time. I mean, they did upset Old Dominion, so there is that.
Who they lost to last year. That's improvement.
That's what I'm saying. They upset them. It was an upset. All right. Northwestern and Duke. Duke will roll. Northwestern might. Who's worse, Boston College or Northwestern? I mean, Northwestern might take 5 more years to recover to become mediocre again.
I'm calling it now. Northwestern's going to run Duke through the car wash.
Oh, God.
Northwestern might actually go 0-12. I'm going to go 0-12, bro.
This is actually a pretty interesting game. Minnesota at North Carolina.
It's a very weird matchup.
It's a very weird matchup.
It's part of the Big Ten ACC Challenge.
Right. All I got to say is North Carolina.
Stylistic matchup, though.
Don't screw this up, Mac Brown.
This is the fun stylistic matchup, though. Running the ball and defense, and no defense, and throwing the ball.
I took the over in this one too. I know I did.
Yeah, right.
There's gonna be a lot of points scored in this game.
I think it might be a low-scoring game.
Minnesota right now. They
25 points on Eastern Michigan.
Have you guys seen?
like you know what? Like everybody's heard about that contract that the OC at Iowa got. How does Iowa not end up with North Carolina?
We need an experiment where we merge North Carolina and Iowa and just see how good that team actually is.
That's a national championship winning team there.
I'm about to say they might win a national title.
Well, they might not win a national title, but I mean, like at the very least,
Playoff dreaming, man. Playoff dreaming, man.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, listen, if those two combine right now, that is the most complete team so far. Because even Georgia doesn't look like a complete team.
No. They got wide receivers playing running back in Georgia.
Imagine just putting Drake May on Iowa, how much better they would be.
I didn't even know that until last night, till Lou told me. You know, they're playing 2 wide receivers at running back because their running backs are so bad. And not only that, I think they're like one of only 3 teams in the country who hasn't registered a single sack yet all year. Is that right?
I think you're right.
Oh,
I think I
man.
saw a UJ fan talking about that. And like, what twilight zone are we in where UGA doesn't have a run game?
Yeah. Well, they point to, I guess one of their players, their best running back is hurt or something. He's supposed to come back this week or next week. I don't know, but.
Listen, it just like nobody cares if Alabama or Ohio State has somebody injured, nobody cares if Georgia has somebody injured. That's no excuse.
Yeah, their best running back is a walk-on wide receiver. God dang. That's something there.
I mean, you can't run around for the last 3 years and make fun of Ohio State and Alabama fans talking about an injured player and then say, well, our run game's crap because we have an injured player.
Yeah.
Your backup running back being a walk-on wide receiver is kind of an issue.
Vic, are you living in the future, buddy? He says, I don't see Cal or SMU. Yeah, because they're not in the ACC yet, buddy. It's 2023 still.
I mean, neither is Stanford technically, but they're on here.
Stanford is part of the ACC show. So.
Oh.
Yeah, we had a Stanford fan show up, so we figured we'd give him a reason to come back.
All right.
Only the best mascots
I'm not
come to the ACC.
I appreciate the graphics guy for putting Stanford on there, but I'm ignoring that.
By the way, I'm still confused. Like, aren't they the Stanford Cardinals? Why the fuck is their mascot a tree?
Nobody knows.
It's like Auburn.
Same
with
reason
the eagle
Alabama's
and
the Crimson
tiger.
Tide and their mascot's an elephant.
Because Cardinals live in trees, Slim. Everybody knows that.
Christmas trees?
Yes.
They could live in a Christmas tree if they wanted.
Trees with legs.
And eyes and a
Minnesota is pretty bad, though. I got North Carolina winning this as long as they don't shoot themselves in the foot, right? This game's in Chapel Hill. I think North Carolina scored probably 40 points. And I think the over-under was only 53.
It's 50 exactly.
Is it 50 exactly? Yeah, definitely give me the over in that because
I don't think Carolina scored 40 on Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm with Luke.
Did you watch them? Did you see them play against one of the worst teams in the country? And they made Nebraska look like they had a chance.
They gave up like 10 points, though. Their defense is good. Their offense is just terrible.
Well, 10 points against Nebraska. Against Sims. Anyway, North Carolina, without a problem.
I mean, I think we'll win the game, but I think their defense is solid. I think we'll put up in like the 24 to 30 range.
No.
TB, or somebody claiming to be Tiger Baskins is in the background.
If you guys really want to know why Stanford or Cal and SMU aren't on here, it's because they won't freaking fit. There's not enough room.
You're going to have to get that fixed.
No, I'd heard you guys, I guess, got some false Georgia information, so I figured I'd come on and clean it up.
Well, this is the ACC show. We like giving out false information on SEC teams. That's kind of what we do.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Oh, you're echoing.
I am echoing?
Mm-hmm.
Terribly.
Well, then I don't know because I'm coughing my phone. Hold on, I'll try to join again.
Get out of here.
Plus, we've also gotten this information from UGA fans, so I mean that's almost right out of the horse's mouth. Maybe the horse's ass. Who knows?
Hey, really quick, can I talk about something that I just found?
Please do.
So Deion Sanders made a post on Instagram where he ranked his kids in order of his favorite.
Yeah, I saw that. And Shador Sanders was third.
This is like Shador is third. Yeah, this
he
is
had
one of the
Shador
funniest
third,
things.
and he's lying.
This is one of the funniest things I've seen.
Well,
He's not third. He's lying.
I could see why Shador would be third because that has got to be the ugliest motherfucker.
Well,
he's capped at third.
The first one was Deion Jr.
Sanders Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, if he should have Shador first, or he's lying.
Is that better?
One of the funniest things I've seen.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah, you sound good now.
True Seminoles, I was echoing it first.
Excuse me?
I'm just joking.
So what were we wrong about?
I'm talking about the running back room. The only person that's out for Georgia is Branson Robinson.
Yeah.
Okay, well, once again, we're getting our information from UGA fans.
No, I said that their best running back was out. Was that wrong?
You said they had a backup as a wide receiver walk-on?
I said they have two. I'm just going off what Lou told me on the Lunch Money show last night. He said you got two wide receivers that are playing running back, and the best one was the walk-on guy.
I know Dylan Bell got snaps at running back, and then they had Brock Bowers in the backfield, but he never had a carry. But now, so far, we have Kendall Milton, Dejon Edwards will be back for South Carolina game. They just held him out because it was cupcake games. And then we'll have Roderick Robinson, who'll be the third string. And then fourth string, I think, is a walk-on.
Well, wait a minute though. I've heard out of Lou for the last 3 years that if any UGA player stubs his toe, he'll never see the field again.
Well, and that's why you didn't see him against those small teams, the cupcake teams. But one thing I'll say is you will never hear me or any reasonable Georgia fan say that, we're struggling because we're out of running backs. I don't care who's hurt. South Carolina, whoever, dogs by 50. It ain't going to be a North Carolina, South Carolina game where we win by 10 points. It ain't going to be.
Line that shit up.
Yeah, fact. Right. Well, true Seminole. I mean, you getting happy over there because y'all beat who'd y'all beat? A crappy LSU team. They're like third or fourth.
It's here we go again. The SEC's so dominant, but it's a crappy LSU team. Can't have
all I know is if Georgia gives up more points to South Carolina than North Carolina,
I'm just saying.
Never hear the end of me.
I'm just saying. I think when's the last time the ACC won a national championship?
I mean, is Tom Brady the best?
We've won 2 in the last 10 years.
That's called a piss poor argument.
Oh, he dropped out. There he is.
So good. Well, I think the person that wins a national championship is usually the king of college football. So I was just wondering when the ACC's won one. When's the last time?
Well, I've never seen a conference win a national title. I've seen a team do it.
Yeah, and if the teams are usually from one conference most of the time, I guess it speaks for itself.
That's great. That's great. Then you should be beating the ACC if you're that much better. But you're not.
Is Tom Brady the best because he has 7 rings? No.
So the NFL's just like college?
At the end of the day, football's football. Nick Saban's not the best because he has 7 titles either.
Oh, yeah, I'm saying
Nick Saban's not the best anyway. The whole championship argument. Once again, if we're going to go by most titles, Yale is the greatest college football team to ever exist.
Yeah, and I said nothing about the most titles. I just said the most recent. And if we're living in the now, that's what I meant.
Well, no, you did say the most titles.
So let me let me get this straight, Tiger Baskins. 2018, it was Clemson, obviously. So in 2018, was the ACC the best conference just because Clemson won the national championship? No.
I didn't say the SEC was the best conference.
All right. Doesn't matter. Look, at the end of the season, you're going to have a losing record of the ACC. You just got to deal with it. I'm sorry.
And that's fine. I'm a Georgia fan. I'm not LSU, Bama, Arkansas. I'm not a fan of all of them.
All right. Well, then why are you saying that?
Georgia's going to have a losing record of the ACC, too.
When Alabama played Clemson, all the SEC teams were rooting SEC.
No, hell no. We were all, as Georgia fans, we were rooting Alabama to fail. No Georgia team wants Bama.
No, yes, there absolutely was a whole lot of Georgia fans waiting.
Well, then they're not real. They're not real Georgia fans because Georgia fans hate Bama.
Oh no!
Yeah, because Georgia fans hate Bama because of how much they have ruined for us in the last couple of years. The last 2 decades, they have taken so much from us. So no, if you root for Bama, you're a tree hugger. That's what you are.
Fan police, not a real fan.
Well, yeah, there you go. Facts. But no, I just I was just coming on to hang out. I just heard that about the running back deal, and for a while I thought we were really depleted, but apparently we held out. I think a total of 18 players these last, of each of the last 2 games. So,
all right.
I guess he's just holding people out because they're banged up.
All right, so we'll see what Georgia looks like against South Carolina. I think you're going to roll over them, but I don't know if that's saying how good Georgia is or how bad South Carolina is. But anyway,
South Carolina is that.
They're that bad. They're
after seeing what North Carolina did to their offensive line, I was very, I don't know.
All right, Vic 2 wants to come in now. I'm trying to wrap the show up, and more people keep coming in here. We still got some games to go through here.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you.
North Carolina's defense looked like the 85 Bears.
What do you guys think about gas prices? No, I'm kidding.
No. All right.
I actually did want to. Oh, well, Luke left. What the hell?
Well, that's what Luke does. Luke things.
Yeah.
It's not even. Okay.
He's got to study. It's Syracuse at Purdue. Dino Babers rolls.
Give me
Dino in there.
Give me the Ducks.
I know the game's in Purdue, but I don't think that matters. Georgia Tech and Ole Miss. Man,
let's go.
I really want to pick Georgia Tech in this.
Yeah, but I can't.
We're gonna continue.
I'm not gonna do it either.
Dominance, baby.
It's in Mississippi.
If y'all do it, I will be the first one to come on here.
Oh, be
and
happy
absolutely
as
say
hell
I'm
if y'all do it.
Yes.
Listen. We might lose, but 20.5 points is disrespectful. I mean,
I don't think so.
I do. I mean, we're not.
Yeah, I saw
Haynes
Haynes
found themselves a passing game, so.
I saw with Georgia Tech's quarterback is like third or fourth in college football right now for average passing yards.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Haynes King is going off. He's really good. So
Yeah, well, when's the last time you've ever seen that?
I feel good about our offense. It's just that our defense, they're probably going to run all over us.
The triple option, I presume.
Judkins is going to have a day, I bet. So, but so I probably think Ole Miss wins, but I actually did appreciate the shout out last night, Pete. I was listening. I did sprinkle a little something on the money line on this game.
Oh, look at you.
So
like 2 cents.
I hadn't.
Now wait a minute, Sea-Dog. Your wife doesn't listen to the ACC.
Oh God, I hope not. No, I jumped out ahead of that one and went ahead and told her.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It was a forgiveness, not permission type of thing, though.
Yeah.
I went ahead and did it, and then I let her know.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Good move.
But I literally hadn't bet in like 2 years on a game, like on my bookie account or whatever it is. But I went ahead, I logged in the other day, and I had $60 on there. So I put 30 of it on the money line. So we'll see. If I win, I'm gonna get $250.
There you go.
Well, screw it. I'm doing the same thing, bro.
Well, I don't know if that's.
Listen, I'll still give Georgia Tech a chance because I've been very clear that I have no faith in Lane Kiffin, the head coach.
Yeah, I think part of that is Ole Miss is overrated. If they were as good as everybody, kind of thinks, then
Well, let's go.
no. But
Ole Miss is supposed to be a running team, right? Didn't they perform very badly in the run game this past week?
But our
they
run.
found a pass game though.
Yeah, they actually had a good passing game.
And also Tulane's a pretty good team, really.
Yeah, Tulane's not a terrible team by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I don't think so. They were good last year.
But also they almost lost that game against Tulane.
Their defense is not anything to write home about. And Tulane, they were able to score on them without their quarterback, which their quarterback's really good.
I hope Georgia Tech wins this game because it'll be funny. ACC SEC matchup, right? We can continue that conversation. And also,
oh my gosh, imagine.
I just want it to be competitive and exciting, and I think Georgia Tech has the ability to do that. I'm not sold on that you're going to win, but I hope you do.
Oh, I don't know if y'all remember back in the day.
That's where I'm at too, pretty much.
Back in the day, Ole Miss actually had a really good defense. That was back when they had was it Hugh Freeze? Yeah.
Yeah, not so much anymore. I think we can. I'm confident that we'll be able to score on them, but.
All right, go Jackets.
Hey guys, we're gonna wrap up the show if that's cool.
Yeah. Pittsburgh at West Virginia, the backyard brawl. If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I would have said Pitt was going to blow them out. I'm not so sure about that after what I saw from Pitt last week.
I'm never listening to Talk is Pitt again, dude.
I agree with you about Pitt. I agree with you about Pitt, but I still don't believe Neil Brown's going to make it through the season.
Exactly.
West Virginia is bad.
Yeah, I'm still picking. I still think Pitt's a better team, and we'll probably win this game. But also, this is a rivalry, and crazy things happen, and all that whole thing.
True.
And it's at Morgantown.
Yeah, it's in Morgantown.
Yeah, I was going to ask where it was at. Yeah.
Pitt is just hot dog water, dude. I can't believe that. I thought they were going to be good and possibly compete to a spot in the ACC championship. I'm not listening to Talk is Pitt anymore, man. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He says the same thing every year. He says, we got senior defensive linemen and this and that. We have a great defense and offense is promising, blah, 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 blah. He says it every year. Then they go 7-5.
Well, it is possible they just had a bad week,
He was right. He was right once. And whatever year they won the
Well, I mean, every fan of every team, you do it too. I mean, we all do it. We all say
I would never do that.
Sir.
We're still on track to win 8 games, okay?
No,
We're
well,
still on track. We're going to start with Ole Miss this weekend.
Well,
Get back on track.
factually, he is correct. They are
We're-
still on track to win
We're
8
on track,
games.
baby. We're definitely on track to win that bet and have all of you pay me.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
all right. I think we're all picking Pitt, aren't we?
Yes.
All right. I'm not going to talk about the tree. Anything to say about Clemson and FAU other than Clemson should dominate this game? Otherwise, I mean,
I want to see Clemson dominate for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
Like you said earlier.
they need to.
Yeah.
And they should. I mean, FAU's not very good. I mean, they're right now, there's like a 9-way tie in the American Athletic Conference for second place.
You better beat the shit out of Willie Taggart.
They're 1-1. They lost. FAU lost at home last
Willie
week.
Taggart's not there. They fired my drunk Uncle Willie.
Oh, they did?
Really?
Yeah, Willie Taggart, I think, is on the staff for the Detroit Lions now.
Yeah, I think he's right about that. Yeah.
How is this man getting jobs?
I don't know, man. Even like Jeff Collins is still unemployed.
Well, like Willie Taggart has a really good record as a play caller, and maybe he's just not head coach material.
Yeah, that's true of a lot of coaches.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Anyway, FAU dropped a game last week at home against Ohio. Yeah, Ohio. Not Ohio State, Ohio. So.
Not Miami of Ohio.
Not even a Miami of Ohio. No, Ohio.
Just Ohio.
That's Ohio.
Anyway.
Wildcats.
There's not much to say about that game.
There's not much to say about this week.
This is like a dud of a week.
It's a good
But
thing we have the Jackets in prime time.
the good thing about weeks like this is that there's always, because it's always, a bunch of highly ranked teams playing against crap teams, right? And there's every year there's 1 or 2 major upsets.
Oh yeah.
So who will it be?
And I'm gonna go ahead and call my shot right here because I have no faith in what I've seen out of Tennessee, and I have absolutely seen Tennessee teams that were better than Florida go to the swamp and blow it. Multiple times over the last
You got
15
the Gators
years.
winning?
Tennessee's gonna lose.
Yeah, give me the Gators to upset Tennessee.
I don't know.
I don't think Tennessee hasn't beat Florida in Florida since like 2008, I think.
I think you're right.
Yeah. And there's
They have found a way to screw it up in the swamp repeatedly.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Florida's just so bad, like next level bad.
Screw that, bro.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. After this week, trats are gonna be filled with Mertz for Heisman comments.
There you go.
Damn.
That's what it is. My boy Graham Mertz got a throw for $650.
You heard it
Now,
here.
granted, I'm still taking graham crackers over Graham Mertz myself, but
You heard it here.
All right, guys. I have to wrap it up. I got to wrap it up. So that's going to do it. Thank you, Tiger Bassins, for coming on and straightening out the Georgia running back situation for us.
Bye, y'all. Thank y'all for letting me on.
All right, man.
didn't he basically prove us right, though?
Kind of. All right, True Seminole. See you next week, buddy.
No, you guys take it easy, man.
All right. I'm pretty sure True Seminole is the one echoing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because it was just there, and now he's gone, and it's gone.
I know.
Fucking Seminoles.
I don't know.
Less powwows, more technology. Thank you.
All right, Slim.
A pleasure as always, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Adios.
All right, Sea-Dog. Another great show. We did the best we could with that slate of games there. God almighty. That was rough.
Well, we went off on a couple tangents. So.
Yeah. Well, that's what we do here.
Yeah. So before we go, I actually have some sad news to report. Unfortunately, Squirrely has passed away.
What, that squirrel that you stole from nature?
Yeah.
What'd you do to it, man?
Nothing, man. We bottle fed it. It lasted about a week. He died yesterday, and we looked it up, and it said don't get attached. If you find like a baby squirrel that's been abandoned by its mom, don't get attached to it for like 2 weeks because it's possible that the mom has left it behind because of some kind of injury or something that you can't tell.
Right.
So we did our best to, we kept him fed and everything, but.
Well, rest in peace, Squirrely.
Rest in peace, Squirrely. I buried him yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm pretty upset about the loss of Squirrely, but I'm going to continue to live on in his memory.
Yeah.
And,
pour one out for him. I'll pour one out for him tonight.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Squirrely. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Sea-Dog, man. Love you.
Yeah, man.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Later.
All right. Yeah, everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. For the midday show. And that's it. Have a great night, everybody. Oh, I do have the poll up for the channel members for the members only stream. Go check that out on the community page. I don't think I posted on the Patreon page yet. I'll go ahead and do that right now. So go vote on that.